heard Myron Golden talk about this. He said, when you're anointed, your appointing doesn't always come after your anointing, meaning just because you're good at something doesn't mean that you're going to step into it right away, because the in between your anointing and your appointing is a disappointing. You're going to go through something in your life that's challenging. You're going to go through something in your life that's going to knock your rocks off. You're going to go through something in your life that's going to make you say, you know what? It's more comfortable here. Hey, family, I have been in so many situations in my life where I promise you, I wasn't comfortable there, but I was comfortable there. Does that make sense? Like, it didn't feel good, but it felt familiar because I was too afraid to move forward. I was too afraid to do something new and different. I was too afraid to take a chance on myself. And instead of moving forward, instead of doing something different, I decided to acquiesce back into who I was and remain there in my comfort zone. And what about you? Have you ever had any situations where you remained in your comfort zone, where you knew that you could be more, have more, and do more, but you decided to stay? And I wanted to talk today a little bit, family, about comfort zones. Have you ever been uncomfortable being comfortable? Have you ever known that you wanted more, wanted to go further, wanted to do more, but for some reason you were afraid? For some reason you didn't want to move forward because you felt as if you couldn't. But sometimes, family, I learned that we love our comfort zone so much that sometimes God has to destroy it. And we love our comfort zone so much that sometimes we are forcibly removed from that comfort zone. And family, what is comfort? Typically, comfort generally refers to a state where our needs are being met. So we are at ease, right? We're comfortable. And honestly, family, we as humans are naturally wired to seek comfort because it feels like safety and it feels like security. So naturally, the comfort zone is a mental state that does not allow personal growth. And it may be okay to be in our comfort zone for a while, but if we want to grow and if we want something new and different in our lives, then that is not the place to stay. So the comfort zone is a place that we've settled in, but not the place that we're meant to be. And in this video, family, I want to give you some reasons on why the comfort zone has to end. I hear a lot of conversations about the comfort zone, but my thing is, if it were so easy to leave, then we wouldn't be talking about it. If the comfort zone were something that were so easy for everyone to move forward from, then it wouldn't be an issue, because it's not easy to move forward from. And when you're trying to move out of your comfort zone, family, that's not easy. That is not easy. When you're trying to leave a relationship, that's not easy. When you're trying to be done with a person, done with a thing, done with an environment, done with a job, you know that's not easy. It's not, because if it were easy, you would have done it already. It's a challenge. And for the people who want to step outside of their comfort zones, you know that you have to make a mental decision that you want to do something new and different with your life. You literally have to make up in your mind that this is not that you can't do this anymore, and that you want more. So how do you know that it's time for you to step out your comfort zone, family? How do you know? Well, for me, there are many signs. If you're not growing, if you're remaining stagnant, if you're in unhealthy and unhappy relationships, if you've been where you've been and you don't want to be there anymore, and you haven't wanted to be there for a long time, then it's probably time for you to step outside your comfort zone. So many of us are in relationships that are not healthy, relationships that aren't going anywhere. Some of us don't have healthy relationships with ourselves, better yet with someone else, right? And we don't want to stay there and we don't want to be there, but a lot of times we feel stuck. So now is a good time to look at the areas where it might be a little bit too comfortable, and maybe you're a little bit too passive in your life, and maybe you are not creating a life by design, but you are living a life by default. And I've had so many situations in my life, family, where I did step outside of my comfort zone. And it was one of the hardest things I ever had to do. And it wasn't always easy. I heard Myron Golden talk about this. He said, when you're anointed, your appointing doesn't always come after your anointing, meaning just because you're good at something doesn't mean that you're going to step into it right away. Because the in between your anointing and your appointing is a disappointing. You're going to go through something in your life that's challenging. You're going to go through something in your life that's going to knock your rocks off. You're going to go through something in your life that's going to make you say, you know what? It's more comfortable here. I don't want to go and do that anymore. I tried it and it didn't work for me. I am not trying that again. I'm not hurting myself like that again. I'm not exposing my heart like that again. I'm not doing it. And family, I know the challenge of coming up out your comfort zone comes with much risk, but with much risk comes much rewards. So here's why stepping outside of your comfort zone can help you grow. It's definitely going to make you a stronger person. Have y'all ever been in a relationship that you had to leave? Look back on your situation. Have you ever been in a relationship that you had to leave and you remember how hard it was? You told yourself every day, you're done with that person. You're done with that. You're done living in lack. You're done with the foolishness. And you wind up right back where you started. You wind up right back there, right? Because life happens. Maybe you guys have children together or a house. Maybe finances are caught up. Maybe this was not the right time for you to move on. So you know what it feels like. And family, I learned that your passion is waiting for your courage to catch up. Some of us have so much passions to do more and to be more and to have more and to inspire, but we're so afraid. Because everything that we've ever bet our lives on are within our grasp. And everything that we ever wanted is outside of our comfort zone. And in order to step out of there, we have to be a new and different person. And a lot of us are not ready for that. Because in order for us to get what we need to get, we have to become the person that we may not yet be ready to be. And that's fact. So we can talk a good game and talk about how we want something different. But until we mentally make up in our mind that we want to step outside of our comfort zones, nothing is going to change for us. But when you step out of your comfort zone, you automatically become a stronger person. You literally automatically become a stronger person. When you decide that you want to leave that relationship, when you decide that you're done with her, when you decide that you're done with them and you're done with him, when you decide that it's done and you mentally make up in your mind to do something new and different, I have learned, family, that when you walk the way is made. Even in my own experience, I have learned that when you take a step out on faith, that when you bet on yourself, it will always work out for you. And effort and ease are two different things. It may not be easy, but it may be effortless, meaning family, when you decide to, y'all ever been in a situation where as soon as you got rid of that person, your life started coming together? As soon as you cut that person off, things started changing for you. As soon as you did something different things started coming in your life. And it's all because you're walking into the unknown. And family, like I've said before, true change is waking up and making a decision that you want to do something new and different than you did the day before. True change is waking up and making a decision and asking yourself, do I want to stay in this familiar past or do I want to take a bet on my future? Do I want to stay in this familiar past or do I want to bet on my future? And family, when you decide to bet on your future, all good things, all new things, all blessings come your way. And you expand your world. You meet new people. You go further than you've ever been. You learn to love yourself, to forgive yourself, to let go of all that dead weight and all the things that were holding you back. You move forward. And it only happens when you step outside of that comfort zone. And there have been so many seasons, family, in my life where I did not want to let a thing go. I did not want to let a person go. I did not want to let a situation go because I knew it. And it wasn't that the situation was good, but the situation was familiar. It was a situation that I was in. It was what I was used to. And I was so afraid to walk away from it that God had to come in and remove it. Have y'all ever been in a situation where God, the universe, whatever your belief is, had to come in and remove that thing? That you waited so long to leave it. You waited so long to remove it that it had to be forcibly removed. And I know that doesn't feel good. Y'all been in them situations. It doesn't feel good. And you look at yourself and you say, man, I wish I would have left that sooner. It cost me a lot. I lost a lot being in that situation. I lost a lot being attached to that person. And you decided, family, no more. You decided that your yeses were going to be yeses and that your no was going to be a no and that you were standing on business and that you were standing 10 toes down and you were moving forward. And it's no different than coming out of your comfort zone when you're deciding that you want something new and different in your life. new and different for your life, that you are tired of sitting back and watching everybody else win. Family, why is it that every day we have to go on social media and scroll and look at everyone's highlight reel and scroll and watch everybody win? Watch everyone in the workplace get the promotions that we're deserving of. Watch everyone seemingly be happy in their relationships when we are not happy in our own. Why do we have to be the individuals to see that, to watch that? Family, we don't, because they are no better than us. We have the same amount of hours in the day, each and every one of us. And we all have talents and skills and unfair advantages that we can utilize to the best of our ability so that we can take our lives to the next level. But we allow the fear to hold us back. We allow the things that people say to hold us back from becoming who we know we can be. We allow the things that people say and the things that they've done to us to hold us back. So many of us are stuck in situations that happened to us years ago. We're still grieving things that happened years ago. And in order to have a new day, we have to wake up with a new mindset. But what happens is we wake up and the things that happened yesterday and the day before yesterday, they start to download in our head in the morning. And in order for us to have a new day, we have to stop and block those thoughts, family. But that's hard. And it's challenging for us to do that. So what do? We sit back and we let the previous day be our day today. So now we can't have a new day. And family, there are ways to actively leave your comfort zone, right? Ways to actively do something different, ways to mentally make up in your mind that you want to change. And it starts with setting a goal, mentally making up in your mind. Have y'all ever been in a situation where you literally woke up one day and you said, I'm done? And you meant that. You said, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I'm done with her. I'm done with him. I'm done with that. I'm done living in lack. I'm done being broke. I'm done being angry. I'm done being frustrated. I am done. And you made up in your mind that you were done. And literally, when you made up in your mind that you were done, you never went back, family. And those are called defining moments because you remember those moments and you remember how you moved forward and how you moved on. And that's how serious you have to get about leaving your comfort zone. Just like the movie, y'all, I love movies. And just like the movie, The Lord of the Rings, where the wizard was standing at the gate to block the evil from passing, and he had a staff. And he took his staff and he stuck it in the ground. And he said to that evil monster, "You shall not pass." And he meant that with every bone in his body. And family, we got to get like that with the thoughts that we're thinking, with the things that we're doing, with the environments that we're in. And sometimes it's not always a change of environment that we need. It's a change of self. It's a change of self. It's betting on yourself and knowing that you are deserving of having more and knowing that you want more and taking that chance on yourself. You've done everything for everybody else. You upgraded her. I'll wait. You upgraded her. You upgraded him. Everything and everyone around you is growing. So why can't you? You've helped everyone else be the best version of themselves. So why can't you be the best version of yourself, family? And when you decide to come out your comfort zone, okay, you might lose some friends. That's fine. Situations in your life might change. That's fine. Things will start being pulled away and pulled off of your life, right? Different things. And people might walk away and friends might go away and relationships might end. But that is you creating space for something new and different to come in your life. That is you creating space and opening up your heart for something new and better. That is you ending your comfort zone. That is the death of your comfort zone. And you're getting to that point before it's removed. You're moving forward and removing it. You're done with it. And family, you have to make up in your mind that you want to be done with it. This is the death of your comfort zone. The death of your comfort zone. You're no longer going to sit back and watch everybody else win. For what? You don't have to. For what? Look at your skills. Some of us are beautiful people. Some of us are talented people. Yo, why? Why do we have to sit back and watch everybody else win when we can win? This is the death of your comfort zone, where you're finally deciding that you're going to become more because you know you are more, because you know you're worthy. Some of us want to start YouTube pages. Why are you watching everyone do their YouTube page? You can do it too. Some of us want to be business owners or be married, but I've learned, family, in order to get that new thing in your life, you have to become that new version of self. In order to go further in life, you have to be the person that can go further. And when you overcome and overcome and overcome, you finally become somebody new. Right, family? So what are we focused on? Are we focused on staying in the familiar past and living in this current present moment that's not making us happy anyway? Are we focused on not changing and not being better and not doing the things that we know we need to do? What are we focused on? So family, we have to set goals and mentally make up in our minds that we want to change. And next, family, we have to make a plan to achieve our goals. We got to start putting some things on paper. If you truly want to leave that relationship, plan it out. If you truly want to leave that job, plan it out. If you truly want to become a new and different person, plan it out. And family, what I do, I take a pen and a piece of paper and I write down all of my fears and all of the limitations, because family, if you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them every single time. So I write down all my limitations. I'm to this. I don't have enough time. I'm afraid. What are people going to think? I'm so concerned. My funds are limited. I write down all my limitations and I look at that piece of paper and I pray over that piece of paper and I ball that piece of paper up. I throw it away and I do what I have to do afraid, because I'm ready to bet on myself. I'm ready to walk into a future that's unknown. I'm ready to go beyond my comfort zone because I can't stay here. And so many of us are in situations where we can't stay here. Some of us are in a season of no thank you. I'll wait. Tell me I'm lying. Some of us are in a season of no thank you, where we're finally saying no to the things that are no longer serving us. Finally saying no to the people that are no longer serving us. It's the death of the comfort zone. We're no longer remaining comfortable. We're no longer remaining in lack. We're setting goals, putting a plan in place, and then we're going to take action. And we're going to put our plan into reality. And we are going to find the line where that comfort zone ends and that new life begins. How far can you push past your comfort zone? What are the things that you're willing to do to move forward, to get something new and different? What are the things that you are willing to do to create long-lasting change so that when you get where you need to be, you're strong enough to stay there? By doing the things and putting the plans in action, that when you get where you need to be, you're strong enough to stay there. That you're not going to go back to that. That you're not going to go back to her. That you're not going to go back to him. No, you're putting the things in place that when you mentally make up your mind that you want to change, you actually change. And now you're outside of your comfort zone, because that's where all the magic happens. Every single thing that you need happens outside of your comfort zone. Every single thing that you want lies in the unknown. In the unknown and what you can't see. And that's why it's so hard, family, because what we see is what we know. And although we may not want to be in bad situations, we stay in bad situations because it's comfortable and because it's familiar. And it's not that it's good, it's just that it's familiar. And we have to find the courage and the strength and the energy to move forward into something that we cannot even see. To take a bet on ourselves, and we've never done it before. And even where we failed, we are taking a chance and getting up and doing it again in hopes that we succeed. That is stepping outside of your comfort zone. So in conclusion, family, like I've said, sometimes we love these comfort zones so much that God has to destroy it. We love these comfort zones so much that we're so afraid to leave them. And I understand why, because I've been there. But you have to mentally make up in your mind that you want more. You have to mentally make up in your mind that this is not that, and that you want more, because you can be more and you are more. Family, you got to mentally make up in your mind that you're going to do something new and different in your life, that you're going to let go of the things that no longer serve you, let go of the people that no longer serve you, and take a chance and a bet on yourself. And it's not going to come overnight. And it doesn't happen easily. It does take time. But when you walk the way is made, and you can trust and rest assured that everything is going to work out for you. And it may not happen the way you want to. And it may feel as if things are falling apart. But I can guarantee you things are not falling apart, but things are all falling together for you. And like I said earlier, think about your life. Think about your past of the people that you never left and they had to be removed. Think of the pain and the stress and the situations that you've gone through. And you probably made a promise to yourself and said, I'm not allowing myself to go through that again. And family, staying in your comfort zone oftentimes is you allowing you to go through those things again. But when you bet on yourself, you will never ever lose, because life truly begins at the end of your comfort zone. Life truly begins at the end of your comfort zone. And this is a very good season to get started. It is time, family, for you to live life on purpose, to step outside of your comfort zone, to take your focus off of the things and the people that no longer serve you, off of the areas where you feel like you're living in lack, and start putting some things on paper so that you can take control of your life. You can take control and co-create your life and be in a different place this time tomorrow, this time next year. It is time to take control of your life. And you can have all the people, all the things, all the support around you to help you, but it is going to take you. You making a decision that you want to do something new and different. You making a decision that this is not that. You making a decision that you don't want to be there anymore. No. You don't want to be with them anymore. You making a decision to take control of your life, because you have a phenomenal, amazing life, family. You have a phenomenal, amazing life. And regardless of how you may or may not feel, there are many people that would trade lives with you in an instant. It's time for us to start living on purpose and creating a life by design and no longer living a life by default. For us to get up and do something new and different, to stop feeling like we are victims in our lives and know that we are overcomers. And I'm not just saying this to sound all preachy. I'm not just saying this to inspire you. No, I'm saying it because it's facts. You only get one life. How are you going to live it? You're going to live it watching everyone else live their lives? You're going to live it watching everyone else go away? No. You're going to live it watching everyone else be happy? No. You're going to do what you have to do, and you're going to live your life on purpose. And for all your haters, your doubters, and your naysayers, and all the people that have had things to say about you in the past, it doesn't matter what they say. You know why? Because you're giving all of them a show. It doesn't matter what they say, because you're giving them a show. Family, when you step outside of your comfort zone, they all see it. They all see it. They may not say it, but they see it. And even those that aren't in your hemisphere anymore, that aren't in your day-to-day, that those relationships that didn't work out, those people that are no longer in your life, they won't see you, but they'll see you. They won't see you, but they'll see you, because they're all watching. So you're going to give them a show. And you're going to dominate in your life. And you're not going to allow what anybody says about you to negatively impact you anymore. And this is the death of your comfort zone, because now you're making a decision that you're moving forward with your life. You're moving onward and yonward. You're doing all of the things that you need to do to get to all of the places that you need to get to. This is the end of your comfort zone and the beginning of your new life. And I guarantee you, if you listen to some of the things that I've said in this video, you're going to be further along. Because just by you making up in your mind, the shared decision to make up in your mind that you want to change is when the change happens. When you create a new defining moment that says, I'm done. I'm done living in lack. I'm done in that situation. I'm done dealing with him. I'm done dealing with her. And I'm going to take a bet on myself. You sit here, family, and you take care of everybody. You take care of everything, everyone, other people's kids, your own kids, individuals. You give people finances. You do every single thing for every single person. And what are you doing for you? I'm waiting. What are you doing for you? And is what you're doing for you enough? Is what you're doing for you enough to get you out of your comfort zone? And if it is not, family, I need you to get about making a decision and putting some things in action and taking action so that you can see the changes in your life right now. Just something to think about. Stay inspired. Hey, family, have you ever been in a season where it just seems like time is passing you by? Like you can't even win for losing. Like you're watching everybody else win and everybody else live their life. Every time you turn around, friends are getting married. People are getting in new careers. They're getting houses and cars and whatever else you perceive as success. And you're having to watch. And no matter how hard you try, it just seems as if things are not working out for you and you're getting left behind because life is lifing without you. And I wanted to make this video today, family, to remind you and let you know that even if you're feeling behind in life, know that things are working out for you and everything is coming together for you. And I want to share some steps with you to help you feel better about the season that you're in. And know, family, that this too shall pass. Family, we all have a season where we feel like we're not where we need to be, right? Like you feel like, okay, I'm 30 and I'm not where I need to be. I'm 40 and I should be married by now. I'm 50 and I should have a successful career. I'm whatever age and I'm just not where I need to be. And we've all been there, family. And things happen in life that cause you to take a detour. Things happen in life that cause you to have to hit the reset button. Things happen in life that cause you to have to spin the block on yourself. And I know what that feels like because I've been there, family. But one of the biggest lessons that I learned in that season is that we have to let go of what we had in mind for ourselves. Meaning, we have to let go of whatever narrative society has placed on us on what success looks like. We have to let go of the narrative on what society says we should be and what we should obtain and what we should already have right now in this season, because family, that's not facts, right? Like that's not true, because family, we cannot be married to the outcome. We cannot be married to the outcome, because when you're married to the outcome, that is how disappointment comes. When you're married to the outcome, that's how we set ourselves up to be sad, to be hurt. When we're married to the outcome, that is how we end up making decisions that are not so good and very bad. And we can't be married to an outcome just because we think that that's how things should be. Just because we think we should be with a person, or we should be married, or in a career, or already a business owner, or having more than we have, we cannot be married to outcomes, because when we do that, we set ourselves up for disappointment, more hurt, and more pain, family. So when you let go of what you had in mind, it can allow you to just clear your mind and live life right now and do the things you need to do right now to ensure a better future for yourself. And another thing that helps, family, if you feel like you're behind in life, is try to make an itemized list of the things you can control and the things you cannot control, right? Make a list of what you can control, because sometimes, family, we waste time trying to control things and trying to control people that we cannot control. And you already know we cannot control people. How many of us have tried? Raise your hand. We can't control people. We cannot get people to do anything we want them to do. We cannot get them to be faithful to us. We cannot get them to give us things. We cannot get them to be the version of self that we want them to be, because people do exactly what people want to do, right? People do exactly what they want to do. And not because it's what we want them to do. They do what they want to do because they want to do it. And we can't control that. And because we can't always control people, and we can't always control things, and we can't always control environments, family, that means we cannot always control outcomes. We cannot always control outcomes. So when we make a list of the things that we can control and what we cannot control, it really helps us to focus and hone in and get better control over our own lives. And think about it like this. Let's say you're a farmer, right? You have good ground, you have good soil, you have good seed. You put the seed in the ground, you cover it with the dirt, you water the seed, but you cannot control the rain. You cannot. All you can do is be hopeful that that seed that you put in the ground is going to grow, because you cannot control the rain. And family, there are some variables and things in life and outcomes that happen that are above and beyond our control, and we're trying to control it. So make a list of the things that you can control and that you can't control, and you'll really say, okay, you know what? Maybe I'm spending too much time over here trying to control this person. Maybe I'm spending too much time over here trying to control that outcome or that situation. And that'll help you get some of your time back and your energy back. Because we only can control what we have control over. And the rest, we leave up to God, the universe, whatever your belief is. You leave that up to that co-creator of your life. But all you can control is what you have in front of you right now. And another lesson I learned, family, that if you're feeling behind in life, if you feel like you're falling behind in life, is you can't compare yourself to other people. You literally cannot compare. Family, y'all know when you're on social media that you're seeing a highlight reel. You know this. So now I'm preaching to the choir. You know that when you're on social media, you are seeing a real life highlight reel. So sometimes we're comparing ourselves to people that aren't even living that life we think they're living. We're comparing ourselves to people that literally appear to have what we want, but they probably don't have it in a good way. We're comparing ourselves to people that are not in the best place in their own lives. But because we're looking at their lives and looking at the cars, the relationship, the money, whatever it is that they have, and we're thinking that they have more than us, when we're comparing ourselves to a false narrative and something that's not even real. So we have to be very careful on what we're comparing ourselves to, because family, a lot of times it's fake. And I learned, family, that we live in a society where appearance is more important than being authentic, where they rather look at a person for what they perceive to have than for who that person truly is. So a lot of times when we're looking at these individuals that we want to be like, that we want to do the things that they're doing and have what they're having, they're not even living that real life. And I heard someone say this before. They said, you do not want to meet your heroes. And I think that means, people are just people and nobody's perfect. And everyone puts their pants on one leg at a time. So you can't compare yourself to people that you think are living this oh so amazing, oh so great life, because chances are. And especially when we're watching all this social media, y'all know that's the biggest flex, right? The biggest flex. So try your hardest not to compare yourself to others, because when you compare yourself to others, you'll always find someone that makes more money than you, has a better relationship than you, what is perceived to have more in life than you. And now you start getting down on yourself. Start wishing you can be more and have more, all off of a false narrative. We cannot compare ourselves to other people. And another point I want to make, family, is if you're feeling behind in life, I want you to own your pace. What do I mean by that? I mean, take your time, but pace yourself. Take your time, because sometimes, they say timing is everything, but sometimes timing is nothing. Meaning you could graduate from school, right? Let's say you graduate from college at 22 and you don't get a job immediately, but by the time you're 30, you're a millionaire. And then there could be someone that didn't go to school, right? Didn't graduate immediately, had everything at 22 years old. And then by the time they're 30, they have nothing because they lost it all. So some people in their season may get what you want sooner than you get in your season. But that doesn't mean that in any way that their pace is better, that because they're moving faster, things are going to be better. No, family, you move at your own pace and you do the things in the timing that's healthy for you, that's productive for you, and that feels good for you with all of the external and internal factors that you are dealing with. You move at your own pace and you don't let anybody rush you. Not society, not what we see on television, not people in your life. We don't allow anyone to rush us in doing the things that we need to do, because we have to go at our own pace. And the same thing holds true for relationships. You could have a person that got married very young, right? And they've been married, they got all the things, they have all the kids, and then all of a sudden they're divorced. And so now you didn't get married for a very long time. Maybe you married later in life and your relationship is long-standing and still happening forever while other people got divorces. So sometimes we may not see the fruits of our labor immediately, but that doesn't mean that things aren't working for us. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. Tell me I'm lying, family. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. So we have to go at our own pace so that we don't rush and make a lot of bad decisions that we see other people making. How many of y'all know people that jumped into relationships that were unhealthy? Maybe we've done it before. Raise your hand, right? How many of us know people who jumped in a situation that wasn't good for them, but because they traded what they wanted most for what they wanted in the moment, they made a mistake? And family, when you go at your own pace, you're able to think more clearly. You're able to see things more clearly. You're able to not jump into things and make bad decisions. You're able to do things at your own pace without being negatively influenced by anyone, because you're making the decisions for your own life and you're co-creating your own life. You go at your own pace, right? Look at individuals that started businesses in their 50s and 60s. What were they doing in their 20s, 30s, and 40s? We don't know. And then look at individuals that started businesses in their younger ages What are they doing now, right? So everybody has a season and a time for when they're doing the things that work for them in their own lives. So you have to go at your own pace. And I heard this quote, family, and I thought it was so good. And it said, there is no right way to live, but there is a wrong way to live, which is to think that there is a right way. So family, take some of those expectations off of your life. Go at your own pace and live your life. And family, if you're feeling behind in life, remind yourself and know that you have the power to change your own life. I really think that we forget that. It's like, we let individuals come in our lives, break us down, beat us down. We go in certain environments that are not healthy for us, things that we used to do that we no longer do, and we're still hanging with those crowds and doing them things. Family, you have the power to control your life. You literally have the power to make a decision to say, no, thank you. You literally have the power to make a decision to say, I'll wait. You literally have the power to walk out of a situation that does not serve you. Family, you have the power to do that. And let me get closer. You have the power to change your life. How many of us have been in situations and we feel so pressed to stay? We feel so pressed to stay because we're thinking we're helping somebody out. And if I leave, things won't be great. Listen to me, family. A lot of times when the tables turned, those same people that you're sitting there and giving your life up for, would they do that for you? Most of them won't. Some of them might, right? So you have to take control of your own life and know and understand that you have the power to change your life, change your mind, change your thoughts, do things differently, see things differently, and be different. Well, like I say every time, all the time, when you overcome and you overcome and you overcome, you become someone new. But you can't become someone new when you're not changing. And true change happens when we wake up and make a decision that we want to be better than we were the day before. True change happens when we mentally make the decision that we no longer want to be there. When we mentally make the decision that we want to go there. You know what I mean? Like true change happens when you decide to make a change and you have the power to change your own life. You've always had the power to. Don't you ever allow anyone to take from you what can't be taken. Don't you ever allow anyone to water you down and make you feel like you are not the thing. Don't ever allow anyone or any environment or any situation to make you feel like you're not the one. What you mean? You already know. So you cannot allow other people, external factors, to get you to that point enough where you feel like you're falling behind in life. No, you have the power to change your life at any given moment. And when you wake up and those negative thoughts start to download in your mind, because they do, now you have to make a decision. Are you going to live in a familiar past, or are you going to take a bet on yourself and move towards an unknown future? And I know it's scary. I have done things time after time after time that I know is scary when you're walking into the unknown. But I'd rather take a chance on myself than to stay in some foolishness that is no longer serving me and causing me to fall behind. I'd rather take a chance on myself and move forward. Family, you have the power, and I hate to have to go so hard, like when I feel like I'm raising my voice. Like I literally want you to understand that you have the power to change your life every single day. And if you fall and if you make a mistake, you can in that very moment make a decision to do something new and different, because every single thing that you want lies outside of that comfort zone that you're in. Every single thing that you want in your life comes when you make the decision that you want to change and that you want to own your life and that you want to live your life on purpose. So in closing, family, we all go through periods of our lives where we feel like we're falling behind. We all go through periods of our lives where we feel like we're a work in progress. Maybe something really truly happened in your life. It could have been a death, a spiritual death, a physical death, some sort of death that caused you to stop dead in your tracks, that caused you to freeze. Some of us have had failure after failure after failure, and you're like, yo, I'm just going to acquiesce into mediocrity. Some of us have had so many situations that have beat us down so much that you almost don't even want to fight for fear of losing, because you can't even win for losing. Like, I get that. I get that we can be a work in progress. I get that there are things that cause us in our life to be that things in our lives that beat us down. I get that there are situations that are above and beyond our control and things that we can't so easily and readily walk out of. I understand. But at the end of the day, just because you're feeling behind in life doesn't mean that you're necessarily behind, family. Because it's okay to not have it all figured out right now. And it's okay to move at your own pace. But understand and know that you and only you have the power to take control and ownership over your own life and drive that thing forward. Only you. And nobody else is going to do that for you. They can talk to you until you're blue in the face. They can try their best to convince you and influence you, but only you can make the decision to move forward in your own life. So it's okay to move at your own pace. And just when you think things are falling apart, family, that could very well mean things are falling together. Just because you can't see a thing doesn't mean it's not there. That doesn't mean that. So sometimes when we feel like we're falling behind in life and we're feeling like we're stagnant or not successful or not moving forward, that does not necessarily mean that things aren't working out for you. It could just mean there is a delay right now in this season that you're in, because everything is falling together, and that's on facts. And family, you have to let go of what you had in mind for your life and for yourself. And you cannot be married to the outcome. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Like, you can't be married to an outcome by beating yourself down and telling yourself, I should have more money at this age. I should be more successful at this age. I should be married at this age. Listen, you're only hurting yourself by doing that, because every single thing that you want is coming your way, and it's all working out for you in due time. And in due season, like I said earlier, the farmer, he can have good ground, he can have good seed, he can have optimism, he can have all of the tools that he needs, but he can't control the rain. And the rain is what's needed to help those plants to grow, right? So there are things above and beyond your control that you cannot control. And you have to understand that all you can do is what you can do, and you leave the rest to your co-creator. So you make a list of the things you can control and the things that you cannot control. And when you make that list of the things you can and can't control, you'll know the difference in between the things that you can and cannot control. And we have to stop comparing ourselves to people. Please stop comparing ourselves to people. We've all done it. Listen, you don't know what these people are truly living. You have no idea how they're truly living their lives, what they're doing in their lives, and who they truly are. We cannot compare ourselves to someone's highlight reel, to somebody's big flex. Like, we can't compare ourselves to that, because in most cases it's all fake, right? We can't compare ourselves to that, family. We can only run our own race, and we can only live in our own life. And our own competition is the person that we were the day before. We are only in competition with ourselves, trying to become a better version of ourselves every moment, every single day. We're not in competition with anybody else but our own selves. And it's okay, right, to look at someone and say, oh, I would love to be more like that. I would love to have more of that thing. But when you get to that point where you're truly comparing your life to theirs, sometimes that can cause us to make irrational decisions, bad judgments, bad calls, and it's overall not healthy. And remember, family, it is okay to move at your own pace. Take your time, but pace yourself. It is okay to move at your own pace. Because like I said earlier, although timing is everything, in some certain cases, timing is nothing, right? And know that you have the power to change your life. Let me get closer when I say this. You have the power to change your own life, because sometimes we forget that when we're so busy giving our power to other people, giving our power away to situations. Listen, you have the power to change your life at any given time. And you are not falling behind in life. It could just be that you're building a foundation to have a great future. Sometimes, family, we have to be catapulted back so that we can move forward and get ahead of the line of everybody else. So now you got to make a choice. Now it's time to make a choice. Are you going to change the narrative of your story? Are you going to keep talking about the bad things? You're not where you need to be. You wish you had more. You need to do this. Are you going to continue to live a life by default, or are you going to create a life by design? It's your choice. What decision are you going to make? I'm deciding that I want to create a life by design. What are you going to create? What are you deciding that you want to do? Are you going to continue to live in lack? mediocrity. No, you don't want to. It doesn't even feel good. It doesn't even look like you. You don't want to keep staying there. That is not where you are. Where you are is a person that's overcoming and becoming someone new. Where you are is a person who's making a decision to take ownership of your life. If I could wear a shirt, it would say everything is my fault, because I'm taking full responsibility in this season of my life that every single thing that I do is my decision and my fault, right? I'm not blaming anyone. I'm not a victim. We're none of those things. We're moving our lives forward. So what decision are you going to make? Do you want to stay in the familiar past, or do you want to bet on yourself? Do you want to take a chance to move forward to a future that you cannot even see? You can stay in the past if you want to. Where's that going to get you? 3 years from now, you'll be saying the same thing, telling the same story. Where is that going to get you? So what decision are you going to make that you want to move forward in your life and become a better version of yourself? The choice is yours. So it's time to change that narrative. It's time to change that story. And it's time to get on to becoming a better version of yourself, and to create a new perspective on who you are and where you want to be and where you're going in your own life. Change the story that we're telling. It's time to change the story. So no, family, when you're feeling behind in life, you have the power to change your life. Just something to think about. Stay inspired. So many of us believe that we would be happy in the having of a thing. If I had a better mate, my life would be better. If I had a wife, my life would be better. If I had a husband, and if I were married, things would be better. If I had more money in the bank, I'd be happier. If I had a better car, whatever it is. And maybe if you had those things, things would be happier. Or maybe you can decide to be happy right now. Right now, you can decide to be happy right now. And family, I think that we believe as humans that we would be happy in the having of a thing. Like it would take something on the external to make us happy on the inside. And sometimes, family, that could be true. But the reality is that you can find happiness right where you are. And I learned, family, that sometimes when you take some time to yourself, when you take some time in isolation by yourself just to think, some time in isolation by yourself just to find yourself, you find that life can be a lot better for you. So many of us don't even give ourselves the time to think, to hear from God, Allah, the universe, whatever you believe in, time to hear. We don't give ourselves time to hear, time to listen to ourselves, time to hear back from our Creator. We're so busy with the distractions of the world. We're so busy listening to everyone and everything outside of ourselves. We spend so much time scrolling on social media that when you look up, a whole 30 minutes to an hour or more went by. We spend so much time on the phone, watching TV, listening to TikToks and Instagram posts and all the things. And most of what we're listening to are not bettering us. Most of the things that we're putting in our minds are not even helping to make us a better person. But family, you got to take that time for yourself, because that's truly the only opportunity that you're going to get to ensure that you're moving forward and that you're being healthy. You have to take that time in isolation for yourself. And I know it's hard, because for a lot of us, we don't want to be alone. We don't like to be alone. We don't even like to be by ourselves. We don't like to be home by ourselves. We don't want to travel by ourselves, right? We don't like to talk to ourselves because it's uncomfortable. And I understand it, family. But there are so many benefits to isolation that you will find that if you gave yourself a little bit of time, if you pulled yourself back from the world, you give yourself an opportunity to pull some of that energy back and to heal. One of the reasons why isolation is so good, family, is because it gives you a chance to get to know yourself. It does. So many of us have been in long-term relationships, and we do the things that she does or that he does because that's the person that we were with. But family, do you really like those things? Like, I'm going to pause right there. The things that you did in your relationship or in your current relationship or in your past relationships, are those the things that you would do? And I'm not saying that, you can't do things that the other people want to do. Of course, you meet a person at their need. You're a great team member. You're a great person in a relationship. We get all that. I'm just saying, are there some things in your life that you like to do, but you just didn't do it? Are there things in your life that you've not focused on, that you just want some time to focus on? And family, whether you're in a relationship or not in a relationship, it is so good just to take some time to yourself. Like, when was the last time you heard yourself think? When was the last time you listened to yourself? How many of us are just meditating, closing our eyes, listening to our breathing, going within? How many of us are letting go of outcomes and just living and being? And many of us are not, family, because at the end of the day, we think that we're following our own program, but the reality is we might not be. We might be following the world program, doing what the world tells us to do, following patterns, unhealthy habits that we didn't even know that we subconsciously created for ourselves, waking up. And the first thing that we do when we wake up is reach for that phone. Now we're looking at emails, looking at text messages. Now we're drawn in. Or we wake up and we went through something very difficult the day before, and all of the things that we thought yesterday and that happened to us are downloading in our mind. And our day today becomes just like our day yesterday because we didn't even give ourselves a chance to think. So family, being in isolation sometimes, most times, a lot of the times, if not all of the times, gives you an opportunity just to hear from God, hear from yourself, to listen, to find the answers that you're looking for, to take away the busy, to take away the distractions, and to just be with yourself. And it can be a simple practice. I do it every day. Take some time away from your husband, your wife, your kids, and I go and I sit and I quiet the noise. I sit and I quiet the noise, and I find a way to hear from me. And I think it's something that you should consider doing as well. Another reason that you want isolation, family, is that sometimes people can hurt you so deeply. And I mean, I'm talking about a person can hurt you so deeply that it rocks your whole world, that you don't even know who you are anymore, that the person that you used to be is not the person that you are today, that the things that you used to do are not the things that you're doing today, and they hurt you so deeply, family, because you opened that space for them to come in. And that's not to blame you. It's not to put the blame on anyone and anything. It just is what it is. And sometimes having some time of isolation can help you find you. I know it's so easy for us to look at a person's life and it appears that they have it all going on, that their highlight reels are so great, that their Instagrams and their social medias are so phenomenal, that their homes are beautiful and their relationships are great, and all the things that you want, they have, and it looks fantastic. But family, you have no idea what a person goes through behind the scenes. You have no idea. We all have to put on a face. We all got to put it together when we go to work. We all got, thank you for coming to Chick-fil-A. How can I help you? Thank you for calling Comcast. We all got to do the thing. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean that we're not hurting. So it doesn't matter the front or the face that anyone is putting on. They still could be going through what they're going through behind the scenes, and you can't see it. Sometimes you can't see pain. Pain is not always physical. You can't see it. So when you give yourself time to be in isolation, you are loving yourself. You are being good to yourself. You are honoring yourself. You are valuing yourself, because you are saying, self, we need some self-care. Self, we are not okay. Self, we need some help. And family, I'm telling you this because I lived it, because I know it. You know, we all have good seasons in our lives. We all have good times in our lives. But then there are those times that in our lives that were not so great, that made the good times great. Times in our lives that we had to sit with ourselves, by ourselves, to do the things alone with ourselves. And it's not easy. And it's not comfortable. And it's hard. It's shadow work. It's doing the hard work behind the scenes that nobody sees, but no one's forcing you to do. It's doing the hard work and taking the time out of your day to focus on you. And sometimes we don't even have the time in the day to focus on us. It's doing the hard work. And I've been there. I remember, family, I wasn't always in such a good season. I wasn't always in such a Nicole Inspired, happy married. Nah, I wasn't always in that season. And I've been divorced before in my past. And I remember going through that season. I was like, how did I get here? I did all the things that I thought God said I should do. I did all the things that I thought my family said I should do. I know I'm not perfect. I know I made mistakes. But why did that have to happen to me? And it was a season where I really questioned God, like, if you loved me, why did you let that happen to me? If you love me, why am I hurting? Right? Like, if you love me, why am I going through this? And I remember being so stressed that I literally cried and balled myself up in a ball and cried and cried and cried until I couldn't cry anymore. That I went to work and I wiped my tears behind the scenes. That I did and ran my business and I wiped my tears behind the scenes. That I took care of my family and I wiped my tears behind the scenes. And nobody knew. Outside of my close people, nobody knew what was going on in my life. And I'm saying this to tell you, family, it wasn't until I took that time to make a decision to say, Nicole, you are not okay. I know that this hurts, but you are not okay, and you're going to get through it. And no matter what a person is telling you to make you feel good, you got to feel good all on your own. That you have to come out of this on your own, and that you got to pick up the pieces where the pieces are and rebuild yourself. And in order for you to become Nicole 2.0, you got to overcome and overcome and overcome until you become someone new, no matter how hard it is. You got to do it with no money. You got to do it with no mate. You got to do it afraid. You have to do it in lack. You got to do it right where you are. And family, I say this to you because all of us, every last one of us, have seasons in our lives where we need to go within. Seasons in our lives, even when we're in a good place, we got to go within. Seasons in our lives where we have to love ourselves, and it makes me want to cry just telling the story because I remember the hurt and I remember the pain. But to heal from it and to become this person that I am today took a lot of sacrifice. Took a lot of sacrifice, a lot of denial, right? A lot of denial to myself, a lot of moving forward to a future that I couldn't even see, a lot of taking a chance on myself when everyone told me one thing, me going against the grain, me healing, me coming better, and me not going back to that. I had to get strong enough to where I got to the place I needed to get to, I could stay there. I had to be strong enough in my period of being by myself that when I got where I needed to go, that I wouldn't fall back into what I was in. And I did the research and I read and I studied and I prayed and I learned. And family, you got to do the things for you. Whatever it is for you that's going to help you to get out of that place, you got to do it for you. And you can't do it with distractions. I tried. You can't do it with somebody new and you're not even in the season to have somebody new. You can't get over someone getting under someone else, and maybe you can. Maybe I'm a hater. Maybe you can. But you can't do that. Because even when you do that, you still have to find the time to heal. You still come back to you, because I learned wherever you go, there you are. You can go to the other side of the world. You're there. You can be in a new relationship. You're there. That'll be a new person, same concept, just a different face. You're there. Same energy, same issues there. But when you take that time out to isolate, to work on yourself, to heal and better yourself every day, little by little, little becomes a lot, and you actually overcome, and you actually get better, and you actually heal, family. We've all been through it. And I remember as I was healing, I prayed all the time. Obviously, I did the things that I needed to do. I continued to build my business. And little by little, every single day got just a little bit better. Just a little bit better. Every single day got a little bit better. And I remember waking up one day and I didn't cry. Y'all, I swear I cried so many times. And I remember watching my ex-husband move about so freely. do the things he wanted to do. Take this new bae, right? Take new bae to all the places we've been. And here I am raising a family, you know what I mean? I've been there. And it wasn't until I got to a happy place that I was proud to say that I'm worthy of something new. And it wasn't until I made myself the main character of my own story that good things started happening for me. And it wasn't until I healed and learned that I was so broken that good didn't feel good. Good felt familiar. And family, you got to learn what truly is good for you, not just what feels good. And it takes times of isolation, being by yourself with your creator so that you can co-create your life. And yes, we have support, people who love us, people who are there for us, but it takes you being there for you, moving forward with you. And when I got to that better place, right, and I started feeling good, looking good, right, getting myself together, being, the happy, optimistic person I typically am, and just having a new sense of grace, a new sense of love, a new sense of happiness. And grace, by its biblical definition, means unmerited favor given to humans for their regeneration and their sanctification. I had grace. And I was moving about happy, and I was doing all the things. And family, I promise, when I got the squares up out my circle, when I got the people out my life that didn't need to be there, when I removed myself from unhealthy and unhappy environments, things shot up for me. My life got so much better. Have y'all ever been in that season where you got rid of someone or something, or that someone or something left you, and you started to see that things started getting better for you? And family, when you do that, plus isolate and take some time for yourself, by yourself, with yourself, alone in yourself, the sky is the limit. And as I overcame and overcame and overcame, I became someone new. And every single thing, this is the funny part, every single thing that I thought I lost came back to me. A new, healthy, happy relationship, a new, healthy, happy sense of self, a new, healthy, happy place within me as a woman. I was free. I was free, right? I was a free person. And I no longer had to go back to that. And when I became free, then all those people that left me, and y'all have experienced this, old girl who left you, right? Who she thought she was it. Oh boy who left you, he thought he was it, right? You took her to eat a 5-course meal and she thought she can get that anywhere because she thought you were easily replaced, and then she learned real quick, right? Them type of people, they all come back. Where are they gonna go? Because where are they going to go? Who doesn't want to be close to the sun? I'll wait. Who doesn't want to be close to the sun? And you are the sun. And when you start finding yourself to be worthy of a new thing, when you start finding yourself to be worthy of a good thing, I feel like I want to cry, because I mean this when I say this. When you find yourself being so worthy of a new and good thing, you become a new and good thing. And every single thing, family, that you think you lost, it comes back. But it goes through fire, because you become refined and become a new and different and better person every single time. And I know it's hard being in those seasons where you're by yourself, being in those seasons of isolations. But when I look back, family, it was the best things I've ever done for myself. Loving myself, listening to myself, hearing myself, being with myself, spending time with myself and myself by myself, and just taking some time throughout the day to be by myself. Family, you can never lose. You can never lose. It doesn't matter what they say about you. It doesn't matter what they post on their social media. It doesn't matter what they look like they're doing, what it appears that their life is like. It doesn't even matter. When you look at your own life and you see the external circumstances, that doesn't dictate who you are. When you see external circumstances, doesn't mean that your life is going to be that way all the time. When you see your external circumstances, doesn't mean that things won't change for you. Now, I'm a living testament that anything can change at any given moment. And I remember hearing a sermon about from a pastor who preached, and he called it "And Suddenly." And suddenly, at any given moment, your life can change for the better. And suddenly, at any given moment, you can lose that weight you want to lose. You can become the person you want to become. You can have the money that you want to have, the business, the life, the woman, the husband, every single thing that you want will come to you. But you have to be good to you first. And still, in my happy season, I still take the time to honor myself, to be good to myself. And when I have challenging times in my relationship, challenging times as a parent, challenging time in business, and in all the areas, I take that time and I remember the things that I've been through and the things that I came through and what I overcame. And it gives me the energy to know that this too shall pass. That no matter what is happening in my life, it's going to pass. Bro, right? Like the young kids say, bro, like you're going to get through it. And it's only a season, but you will get through it in a more healthy manner and in a more healed manner and in a better manner when you give yourself time to isolate. Isolate from those environments that no longer serve you. Isolate from the people that no longer serve you. I'm going to say it again. Isolate from the people that no longer serve you. And I do understand that we all just can't get up and leave our relationships. I get that. I do understand that there are different dynamics, financial dynamics, children, situations, court situation, jail situation, whatever our situation is, we all got a situation. I get that. But I want you to know that you always have you. And people always leave when times get tough. If you fall, if you cheat, if you fail, people leave. But God, your co-creator, won't leave you. You won't leave you. You're still here. You're still here. And one thing that you're not going to do is break promises that you're making to yourself. You're still here. And since you're still here, you have an opportunity to do things new and different in this season. While you're still here, you have your mind. And some of us have to lose our minds to gain a new one. So hopefully you lost your mind and gained a new one. You've been through so much things in your life where a person took you down through there. A person did you dirty, disrespected you, called you all kinds of names, took money from you, hurt you, all the things. But at the end of the day, you still have you. And you're still here. So now what are you going to do? You have to make a choice. Do you want to take some time to truly heal in the best way? Do you want to continue as a maintenance method to isolate yourself just for a little bit, for prayer, for meditation, for time away, to listen and hear from God, from self, to come up with new and different ideas, new creative ways to do things, to not react, but to respond effectively, to do the things that you need to do in a manner that's healthy for you and all those that you have fiduciary responsibility over? What are you going to do? And I always say this, we only get one life. And in this season of your life, you're going to do things new and different. In this season of your life, you're going to do things better. And isolation is so good. And so many times, family, when I do these videos, I try to, do research and write things down and really just come with some good content. But every once in a while, I got to share the things that I've been through. Every once in a while, I got to share my story in hopes that it will help you in your story. And know that you can change your story at any given moment. That you can create the narrative that you want for your life. And no, we cannot change the past. And yes, we've all been hurt. But we do not have to sit and watch everybody else win. We do not got to sit and watch everybody else win and kick their field goal and get their score in their own life. No, we can win too. That we don't got to sit and watch everybody have the thing that we want. If you want a healthy, happy relationship, become a healthy and happy person, and I guarantee you it'll come to you. And like I said earlier, you can't get there from here. You have to fix here, and there comes here. And I'm not telling you anything, family, that doesn't work. I'm telling you what works because it's tried and true. Because I'm not new to the game. I'm true to it. I've been there. And I've done it afraid. And whether or not I'm married or in a relationship, I've done it divorced. I've done it alone. I've done it broke. I've done it with nothing. Because at the end of the day, there was nobody else that was going to take a chance on me like I was. There was nobody else that was going to take a chance on me like I was, and I had to isolate. And I read stories on people who did this successfully. And I read about the eagle who, when he's at his height, he starts to lose his vision and lose his accuracy. And he can't fly as good as he did. And his feathers start to get heavy. And so he takes some time. And he takes a couple months out the year. And he goes to the highest mountain. And he beats his beak against the rock to break it. And he pulls out his talons. And his feathers shed, and he is in a very vulnerable state. He's in a very vulnerable state that he has to be alone by himself to get to a situation and a position that's better. And it is said that after a while, his beak grows back and his talons grow back. And they say he then mounts with wings. He mounts up with a new strength, and he is able to fly better, faster and higher, and can lock in on prey 3 miles away. I wanted that for my life. I wanted a change where when I came out of my isolation, that I was better. I wanted a change, and when I came out of my period of growth, I was stronger. That I was battle tested, and when I got to where I need to be, I was certified to take my seat on the throne. That when I got to where I need to be, nobody can tell me that I didn't deserve to be there because I earned my stripes. And you know that soldiers in the war earn stripes from battles they fight. And how many stripes have you earned? Nobody can take that away from you. But you have to continue to isolate yourself and heal yourself so that when you get to where you need to get, you can stay there. And that you're battle tested. And that you got there on hard work, merit, favor, grace, prayer, and strength, and you isolating yourself and taking the time that you need to go to that next level because you're going to need it. Because I realized that I couldn't get to this level that I'm at now being that old version of Nicole. I couldn't get here being that person. I couldn't get here in that mindset. But it was because I was there that I got here from a standpoint of I healed. I grew and I changed, and even the areas in my life that still need massaging, right? Even those areas that I want to go back to, and the person that I used to be that I want to go back to, I work on that, and I'm intentional, and I have self-awareness because I promised myself that I would never go back there, and I never did. And family, I want you to feel the same way about yourself. Take that time to isolate. I know it's uncomfortable. God knows it does not feel good when you're watching everybody else go out and have fun and be in relationships and have the things that you have and get the money you want and all the things that you know that you are deserving of, and you're having to watch them win and be happy for them. No, in those seasons, you just want to be a hater, real talk, because you're like, yo, things are not working out for me, but I got to find the strength and the courage to be happy for them. Family, yes, you do. Because you know your blessing is coming. You got to know that. And if there's nothing that you can hang on, one thing I know is that God has a clock and his watch ain't go out. That the time is still going and he's watching you. And every single thing that you've been through and that you've done and that you will do, your creator already sees it. And he knows. And there's nothing that you can go through, even though it feels like it. There's nothing that you can go through that you can't come out of. And when you take the time to isolate, and strengthen yourself and do the walk and do the things that you need to do to get to where you need to be, you will never, ever, ever, ever lose. And when you take the time to honor yourself, to believe in yourself, to love yourself, to feel worthy of a new thing, to feel worthy of a good thing, you become a new and good thing. And in this season that you're in, when you wake up and those negative thoughts start to download in your head, you gently think good and new and positive thoughts to get you to a good and new season. When you isolate and you take that time to better you, you come out of that isolation better, faster, and stronger every single time. Just something for you to think about. Stay inspired. Have you ever gone through something in life that was so painful? And I mean, when I say painful, I mean painful. Like crying at night, like not being able to function in the day, like things not going the way you thought they should, like you feel like giving up. You feel like stopping right here, right now, because every single thing that you did didn't pan out and nothing is working out for you the way you thought that it should. And you put in the work. You put in the time, the effort, the energy, the everything, and it still seems as if things aren't working. And I've been there, family. And in those times, it just feels like it's really hard to see the end of the tunnel. But I want to give you some reasons, family, to keep moving forward, to keep going, because sometimes when we feel like we're off course, we're actually on course. And that you're planted, even though it feels like you're being buried, and that you're moving forward, even though it seems like you're being pulled back. Because I learned, family, in these tough seasons, that sometimes you have to go down before you come up. Sometimes you have to be stretched and pulled back so that you can be catapulted to the front of the line. I've learned that when you keep moving forward, the odds against you are less and less and less, because you can't lose if you don't quit. You can't lose if you don't stop. And as you keep moving forward, things work out for you. And things work out for you because you're doing it afraid. You're doing it without all the tools that you need. You're doing it without someone's good graces. You're doing it with rejection. You're doing it in isolation. You're doing it against all odds. And when you keep moving forward, I promise you, things work out in your favor. And sometimes when we're moving forward, family, we feel rejection. It's like all the doors are closed right in front of our eyes, right? It's like every time we try to do something, something falls out. Something falls out of place. It doesn't go as planned. The door gets closed. The relationship doesn't work. The situations that we're in don't pan out like we thought that they would. And it feels like the rejection is just a way for us to say, you know what, we should quit. Or we should stop. It's too much rejection. So we should stop here. That this is not working out. But I want to tell you, family, that sometimes rejection, in most cases, is protection. It's protection because sometimes, family, although rejection is protection from us getting what we think we wanted, but wasn't good for us in this season or wasn't meant for us at all, sometimes that rejection is still showing you that you're trying. It's still showing you that you're trying. It's still showing you that you're moving forward. It's still showing you that you're wanting to do better and to be better. The rejection is showing you signs that you need to keep moving forward. Yes, maybe the door was closed. No, maybe that wasn't for you. Maybe that person wasn't for you. Maybe that relationship didn't work out. Maybe you put your all into something and it didn't pan out, but that doesn't mean that you need to stop. Because family, the rejection gives you an opportunity to better yourself. If you look at it that way, if you frame your story that way, right? If you look at yourself and you say to yourself, you know what, maybe this rejection is a way for me to see how I can better myself from this situation, from being in this situation. And it could just mean, family, that the thing that you're attempting, it just isn't ready for you yet, or you're not ready for it yet, or it's not meant for you at all. Who knows? Right? But at the end of the day, you can't stop moving forward just because a door closes. And I know it's hard. True indeed. And I know it hurts. And maybe the rejection is God's protection, right? Maybe the rejection is God's protection. But regardless of what, it still is progress. It still means you're making progress. The rejection still means you're moving forward. I feel like we have so many good things happening in our lives. And we focus, just as human, right? Just as humans, we tend to focus on the not so good, very bad things. And we got all these other things going on for us, right? All these other things going on for us in our lives. And we want to focus on the things that are not working out. But family, look at it like this. The rejection that you're dealing with, it is a sign of progress. Because if you were never made to be uncomfortable, you'd never know who you are. If you were not made to feel uncomfortable, you wouldn't know who you are. And you wouldn't know what you're capable of doing. And you wouldn't know what you're capable of becoming if you didn't have that rejection. And you wouldn't know that that thing wasn't for you, that that person was never for you. You'd be moving forward in a direction that wasn't healthy for you, that wasn't good for you, moving forward in a direction that you shouldn't be moving forward in. But when you are rejected, family, I know it doesn't feel good. I know it doesn't feel good. It's not a comfortable position to be in. But when you're rejected, know that it was truly for protection and that you're being protected and you're being supported and you're moving in the direction that you need to move in. But that one door may have closed. And maybe it closed for now. It doesn't mean it's closed for forever. Maybe in this season, it's just not meant to be. And I think sometimes, family, it's so hard when we're on that walk, when we're doing the things that we want to do and need to do, and we have that setback. It feels like we should just stop dead in our tracks. But the reality is, family, the rejection is truly protection, protecting you from you, protecting you from them, protecting you from a situation that no longer serves you or that won't serve you in this season or in the next. You got to know it. And for me, at least I know the rejection has always helped me to reframe my mindset, to reframe the way I think about things, to take people off of those pedestals, right? Like how many of us have put people on pedestals that don't deserve it? So if they reject us, right? Or a situation or an environment doesn't work in our favor, which feels like rejection, we can take it off of the pedestal and realize that they're not on the pedestal, that we're on the pedestal because we are the main characters of our own stories. And sometimes we forget. We forget that when we're loving hard. We forget that when we're putting people in high places that don't need to be in high places. We forget that when we're moving forward and leaving ourselves. Moving forward and leaving ourselves, the main character of our own story. So the rejection can help you reframe the way you see things and put yourself back on that pedestal and put yourself in the front of the line. That's what rejection can do. So it's not always a bad thing, family. Because one of the things I realized when it comes to rejection, that is absolutely a way for you to show yourself, right? That you can prove them all wrong. They may have said things about you that were not true. Oh, you're not this. You're not that. You'll never amount to anything. You're not good enough for this job. You're not good enough for this role. We don't like your book. We don't like your decision. It doesn't matter what they say. Because at the end of the day, someone's no doesn't determine your future. Someone's no doesn't mean that you can't move forward and do the things you need to do. Someone's no doesn't rewrite your story in a negative way. Because it's going to force you and push you and move you to that front of the line. It's going to give you the fuel that you need to accomplish the things that you need to accomplish anyway. So their rejection is your protection, and it is the fuel for you to move forward and to do the things that you know you need to do that you are already doing, whether they came in your life or not. And it helps you to just reframe your mindset and see things differently. Family, you're moving forward, and that's why you have to keep going. And another reason to keep going is that you will automatically find yourself in places you have never imagined, sitting at tables with people you never imagined sitting with, doing the things you never even imagined doing, going to places you never, family, really, when you keep moving forward, it takes you to that next level and that next step of your life. It's you meeting you as the highest and best self. It's you going into the direction that you always knew that you were worthy of, that you always knew that you can go in. But if you give up now and you don't keep going, then you'll never find yourself in places that you can't imagine. You'll never find yourself moving forward. You won't find yourself in that new self. You won't find yourself in that new future. You won't find yourself doing the things that you know you are called to do, right? You won't. And so that's why we have to keep moving forward. We have to keep moving forward when it's hard. Keep moving forward when it's difficult. I remember reading a story and it was talking about weeds and seeds, right? Like for those of us who are gardeners, I'm a gardener. And when you grow your plants every year, it doesn't matter what you do. The weeds always come back, right? You can pluck them out the ground. You can pay a whole bunch of money for a company to try to get rid of them, to control them. But the weeds always come. And you get to that point in your life, family, where you learn to take the good with the bad, where you learn there will always be the weeds and the seeds growing together at the same time, where you learn that you have persecution and praise in the same sentence, where you learn that the good and the bad happen sometimes at the same time. Like you could be doing really, really, really good in one part of your life, and there could be another part of your life that's not going so well. That you could be doing really, really, really good in a part of your job, and then there's that one part that needs some massaging. Family, it's normal, and it happens. But in order for us to move forward, and in order for us to keep the ball rolling, we have to accept and understand that the good sometimes comes with the bad, right? It does. And at the end of the day, it's not going to stop you from being great. Maybe it'll delay you. Maybe it will slow you down, but it certainly is not going to stop you from being great, family. But you have to move forward so that you can realize your dreams, so that you can realize your goals and do the things that you need to do. And you have to keep going, family. And another reason is because if you don't, you're always going to live with that regret, wondering, what could life have been had I made that decision? What could life have been had I taken a bet on myself? What would life have been like had I chose to do the hard thing, to do the hard thing, to do it afraid, to do it without help, to do it without resources, to do it without the time, to do it without the people, to do it without the wife, to do it without the husband? How would it have felt had I taken a chance on myself? And one thing I learned, family, is that when you move forward in your life and when you get on doing the things that you need to do, all the things that you want come to you. You don't have to go there. It comes to you, right? When you get on with your life and doing the things that you believe you're called to do and living out your purpose and following your goals and your dreams for your own life, all of those things come to you. That you don't have to go out there and get it, that it comes to you. My mom used to always say, and this is something that I will take with me the rest of my life. She says, you can't get there from here. You can't get there from here. You have to fix here, and there comes here. Family, you don't have to go anywhere. Every single thing that you want, it's going to come to you. It's going to come to you when you take a chance on yourself, when you bet on yourself, when you do the things that you know you need to do to get to the places that you know you need to get to. It's going to come to you. And you don't ever want to look back on your life and say, man, I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have taken a chance on myself. How many people do we know they haven't realized their goals and their dreams? Maybe they're close to dying, or they're sick, or they're in a season of their life where they feel like they can't do it. And they're like, man, back in the day, I always used to want to have this, or I always used to want to do that. Family, you got to take a chance on yourself. You have to, because you're strong enough. You're strong enough to achieve anything you put your mind to. You're strong enough to obtain all the things you need to obtain. And you're strong enough to do all the things that you need to do, even though it doesn't feel like it. Even when your outer environments don't reflect it. Even when your outer environments don't look like it, you have what it takes. And I'm not just speaking to speak, I'm speaking from experience. I know what it feels like to regret. I know what it feels like to not have done the things that I've wanted to do. I know what it feels like to wish I can go back and fix a thing, but you learn, family, that the best day is now. The best time is now, that you can rewrite your own story at any given time, that you don't have to go in the past, that you can create a new now and create a new future, that every single thing that you thought you lost can be found. Every single thing that you want is waiting for you on the other side of fear, on the other side of your comfort zone. But you have to take that chance on yourself. And you have to keep going, because if you don't, you're going to regret that you didn't move forward. And another reason you have to keep going, family, is because there is somebody out there that is relying on you. There is somebody out there that is waiting for you. Waiting for your ideas, waiting for your goals, waiting for your dreams, waiting for your situations to come to fruition, waiting for all of the blessings that you have to bestow upon the world. There's somebody out there waiting for you. And whether or not you have someone relying on you now, you will have someone relying on you in the future. You will have someone that will need you, need your product, need to hear your story, need to hear your offering in the future. So family, we got to move forward because there are people relying on us. Some of us got to get up and go to work, and not because we want to, but because we know that there are people that we have to take care of. We know that there are things that we have fiduciary responsibility over. We know that we got to get about moving. And we have to move forward, because if we don't move forward, then the things that we want don't move forward. Then our goals and dreams don't move forward. Then our ideas don't move forward. We have to move forward, and we have to keep the ball rolling. And another reason, family, that you want to keep moving forward is because you are worthy. I'll wait. You are worthy. So many of us don't see ourselves the way we see other people. We don't see ourselves the way God, the universe, Allah, whatever but we don't see ourselves the way our maker sees us, right? We don't see ourselves for who we truly are, and that we're worthy. and that we're worthy of a good thing. We don't have the belief in ourselves to think that we can do the things that we need to do. But we can, family. How much longer are we going to watch everybody else win? How much longer? How much longer are we going to watch everybody else score? Everybody else win. Everybody else do their social media. Everybody else get the relationship of their dreams, the life of their dreams, the career, the house, the car of their dreams, the peace of mind. How much longer are we going to watch this? When we have the same tools to do the things that we need to do inside, within us. When we have the same 24 hours in a day, how much longer are we going to watch this happen? Because family, at the end of the day, we have what it takes to make our dreams a reality. We have what it takes to get to where we need to get, but we have to find that belief in ourselves. And I know I'm speaking as if it's easy because I know it's hard. I know it's not easy to find that belief in yourself when you've done things so many times over and over and over and over and over to no avail, and it still doesn't work out. When you've tried so hard in that relationship for it to last and she still left and he still left, right? And the marriage didn't work out and the relationship failed. When you put everything that you had inside of you on that job and they still let you go. When you put everything that you had, your resources, your time, your energy, your effort into that business and it still didn't work out, I know it's hard. And when you have losses like that, you want to just quit right then and there. You want to take the L, right? You don't even want to move forward, and I understand. But when you keep moving forward, family, it's an opportunity to right your wrongs. It's an opportunity to redo a thing. It's an opportunity to reframe the rejection and the hurt and the things that didn't work out. And know and understand that it was all for your good. And it was all to make you better. That when things felt like they were falling apart, they were always falling together. And we don't know that if we stay stuck. We don't know that if we sit still, right? I heard someone say this. They said, you can have a wonderful, beautiful car, but I can't teach you how to drive a parked car. It doesn't matter what you have. You can have all the wonderful, great, and good ideas, but it can't come to fruition and realization if you don't do it. You can have all the things, but if you're not taking a chance on yourself, then all those things mean nothing, right? They just sit and collect dust. You have to be the one to deliver. You are the one waiting on you. You're the one waiting on yourself. You have to win. And in order to win, you got to walk. You got to move forward. You got to get to where you need to go so that all the things that you want can come to you, because now you're the point of attraction. Now you're the vortex of creation. Now you're that person that everyone is looking for. Now you are the highest and best version of self. And it can't happen if you don't move forward. It can't happen if you don't keep going. It can't happen if you don't bet on yourself. So in conclusion, family, know that you have what it takes to keep moving forward. That what they say about you doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they say. I'll wait. Why does it? It doesn't matter what they say. Let them people talk. Let them say what they want. Why does it matter? Whether you're doing good or not, they're going to talk about you anyway. Let them say what they want. It doesn't matter. And understand and know that rejection is for your protection. And rejection is also a sign that you're trying and that you're moving forward and that you're doing the things that you need to do. And that when you keep moving forward and when you keep going, you find yourself in rooms that you didn't even know that you would be invited to. You find yourself in places that you could never imagine. You find yourself becoming a person that you thought you could never be when you keep moving forward. And know that you'll regret it if you don't take a chance on yourself. You'll always think about what things could have been, how you could have done this, how you could have done it. No, you don't want to live like that, family. You want to take a chance on yourself and trust and know that there is somebody in this world that's waiting on you. Somebody in this world that your story can help. Somebody in this world that needs you. Somebody in this world that's relying on you outside of your family. And know, more than anything, you are worthy. You're worthy of moving forward. You're worthy of taking that chance on yourself. You're worthy of making a decision that's large enough that can change the world, of creating something that's bigger than you, bigger than anything you could have ever thought you could have accomplished, bigger than anything that you can imagine or even see in your mind. It all happens when you keep moving forward. And know and understand that there will always be discomfort. Whenever situations change, it's uncomfortable, right? When you're moving forward, it's uncomfortable. When you don't know what you're doing or where you're going or how to do it, it's uncomfortable. But I learned, family, that when you walk the way is made. And everything that you think you're missing is going to come to you anyway. All of the right people are going to come in your path. That wife that you wanted, she's coming. That girlfriend that you wanted, she's coming. That man that you wanted, he's coming. And he comes and she comes when you're on your way to greatness. And when you're overcoming and overcoming and overcoming and become somebody new, they all come. Even your exes come. The people from your past come, right? The people who said negative things about you, that you could never be anything and you'd never go anywhere and you'll never amount to anything. They all return and they all come back because you are the truth, family. You are a great big light. You are the sun. And who doesn't want to be close to the sun? Why do you think them people trying to come back in your life? Why? Because you are the source. You're the generator. And family, you got to believe that about yourself so that you can keep moving forward no matter the obstacle, no matter the delay. You're going to do it afraid. You're going to do it when you feel like you're running out of time. You're going to do it when you feel like you're running out of resources. You're going to do it when she leaves, when he leaves. You're going to do it because you're going to bet on yourself and trust and know that you have you. You still have you. You have God. You and God are still here. It doesn't matter what people do. People leave. People leave all the time. People come and go, but you are here. And you're not going to leave you. And you're not going to break any promises that you are making to yourself. And you're going to continue to move forward despite all odds and despite the obstacles so that you can find yourself in places that you could never imagine. Because you are waiting on you to arrive. Because you, family, are worthy of a good thing, of a new thing. Just something to think about. Stay inspired. Hey, family, I want you to know that you cannot lose. You can't lose as long as you don't quit. Every one of us goes through things that we deem as losses, things that we deem as failures. But you can't lose, family, not when you're putting in the work. I don't care who came in your life and told you that you're not the thing. I don't care who came in your life and told you that you'll never amount to anything, that you're no good, that your past will never change, that you are who you are, that you'll never overcome your past, that you'll never be better than you can be. I don't care if they come in and throw the whole doggone kitchen sink at you. You have the power to win because you can't lose. How can you lose when you don't quit? It doesn't matter what a person says. It doesn't matter. Family, you have the power to win every single time. Every single time. And you can't lose because winning is not just about crossing the finish line. It's not just about becoming first place. Winning is about becoming a better version of yourself. It's also becoming a better version of yourself. It's overcoming and becoming someone new, becoming someone great, becoming someone different. Winning is when you overcome all odds. Winning is when you defy all expectations. Winning is when you left that situation, right? When you didn't spin the block on that. Winning is you moving forward and doing something and having more and being more because you are more. That makes you a winner. And you cannot lose if you don't quit. And how many of us have been in situations where we done got took down through there? Where someone took advantage of us, took advantage of our good graces, played us, hurt us, used us, and even in that, family, you got up and you did what you had to do and became a better version of self and learned from that situation because each loss that you have had has become a learning opportunity for you to move forward in your life and get where you're going. You can't lose. And you also can't lose because you're the chosen one. Listen. You are the chosen one. You are chosen to do great things, to be a great person, to have more, to be more because you are more. You're chosen and you can't lose. So many of us have these negative external environments, all the things happening outside of us. Maybe it's things that we did that caused misfortune in our lives. Maybe it's decisions that we made that we wouldn't make those decisions now in this season of our life, but things we've done in the past that we cannot change. But even with that, family, you're still a winner because you're doing the things that you need to do to get to where you need to be, and you're overcoming yourself. You're not going to allow anybody to hold you to your past. You're not going to allow anyone to hold you to who you used to be. You're not going to allow anyone to tell you that you're not great, to tell you that you can't be better than you are. No, absolutely not. There are so many individuals that started out in a not so good, very bad place, and now they're where they need to be. Now they're what they deem as successful and what society deems as successful, all because they overcame a situation and they still won. They're not a loser. You can't go by society standards, by them telling you you should be 50 and successful. You should be 40 and married. You should be 30 with money. No, that's all cap, family. You win by your internal status. You win by how you feel and by who you are and by overcoming the things in your life that you need to overcome. And to me, true success, right? The definition to me of success is doing what you want, when you want, where you want, with who you want, for however long you want. That is true success. Options. So you're winning because you're creating more options in your life. You're winning because you're doing the things that you need to do to get where you need to get. You're winning because you're no longer going back there. You're winning because you're no longer going back there. You don't want to be with them anymore. I'll wait. You're winning because you left that bad situation. It may have taken you some years, but you're winning because you decided to bet on yourself. You decided to take a chance on your future. You decided that you no longer wanted that anymore, that you were tired of allowing people to come in and out of your life and spin the block on you, tired of allowing people to come back in your life and hurt you. You were tired of allowing people at your job, people in the business. You are sick and tired of dealing with lack, sick and tired of dealing with poverty. You got to the point where you said, I'm winning because I'm focused on winning and I'm playing the game to win. And the only game I'm playing in this season is how to become a millionaire. You're focused. And when you're focused, you can't lose, family, not ever. When you're focused, you cannot lose. And we know that losing is a part of the process. Losing is definitely a part of the process. We get that. But when you get to that point in your life, family, where you have true courage, you do what you have to do afraid. You can never lose. Not when you're doing what you have to do afraid. When everybody counted you out and they can't count. When everybody told you that you're not great, but they can't see. When they sat here and spoke negative over you, but they can't speak life. When they sat there and said all the things and did all the things that would naturally take you out, you made a decision to keep moving forward. Tell me how you're a loser. So many of us feel feelings of sadness and regret and loss. And I understand life is hard. I've also had loss in my life. I know what it feels like to have a breakup. I know what it feels like to have a situation that is not favorable. I know what it feels like to lose something that you feel like you were worthy of and what you feel like you deserve. I understand that. But at the end of the day, family, you can't stay there. And one of the things that I do in my own life is I give my pain an end date. This is how long I'm going to mourn. And no matter how much it hurts, I got to get out of that funk, get out of that hole, get out of that situation and keep moving forward because I can't live there anymore. I literally can't live there. And family, you have to do the same thing. Whatever it is that you're going through in your life in this current moment, tell yourself that you can't lose. Whatever it is that you're going through, tell yourself that this is only a season and that it is not long lasting and that it won't feel like it won't be forever. It won't be forever, family. Think about successful people. How many of them have lost so many battles but won the war? So just because you're losing a battle does not mean you're losing the war. It's just a season. And I'm preaching to myself as well because we go through these things in our life that take us down through there, people that hurt us, situations that don't work out, disappointment after disappointment after disappointment, and it just makes you want to stop. It makes you want to stop dead in your tracks. Let me take a moment of silence to think about that. It makes you want to stop dead in your tracks. But the reality is, for those individuals that have found success in their life, if you spoke to any one of them, they will tell you that I kept going, that I pushed through adversity, that I never stopped, that I never ended because I'm a champion. And you have to look yourself in the mirror, family, and tell yourself that you are great. I don't know how many of y'all watch Netflix and have seen Kanye West documentary. I thought it was super dope, especially the first 2 episodes. There was a scene in the documentary where his mother said, when he was going through adversity, she said to him, a giant doesn't know he's a giant when he's looking in the mirror, right? Something to that effect. And I'm saying the same thing to you. Family, do you know who you are when you look in the mirror? You are so super dope. Do you know who you are when you're looking in the mirror? You are on your path of success. You are super dope. You are not common. Let me take it a step further. You're not a commoner. I'll wait. Tell me I'm lying. Some of us are moving and we're eagles, and some of us are moving like we're chickens because that's all we know. No, you can fly. So why stay in those spaces that are making you small? Why stay in those spaces that don't feel good? You know why? Because when you've been through so much loss and so much hurt, good doesn't feel good. What feels good is what's familiar. But just because something feels familiar does not mean that something is good. Right? Make that make sense. Just because it's familiar does not mean it's good. Family, you are a winner. Like on some real ish, like you're a whole winner. And I have to remind you of that because sometimes we're so busy taking care of everyone else and everything else and doing everything for everyone that we tend to forget ourselves. And we keep giving our powers to the people who don't deserve it, giving our energy to the people that are not worthy. Family, if a person is in your life and they are not battle tested, chances are they are not worthy to hear your story. And a lot of us are casting our pearls amongst swine. But if we continue to move forward and if we continue to win, how can we lose if we don't quit? If there's something in your life that you need to change, change it. If there's someone in your life that you need to leave, you find the courage to leave. You plan out your strategy for exiting stage left. You plan out your strategy for moving forward and getting in a better situation with better people, in better environments, with situations and people and things that love you and show you that love in return that you give to them. You can't lose. You can only lose when you quit. You fall down 7 times, you get back up. Look at your life. Look at all of the things that you've been through in your life. I'll wait and take a moment of silence so you can think. Let me stop talking so you can think. Think of all the things you've been through in your life. And think of how you overcame that adversity. I'll wait. Did you quit? Maybe you did along the way. Maybe you stopped. But you realized a delay wasn't a denial. So here you are. You're still here. So that means because you're still here, there's still a mission for your life. There's still something great that you need to do. You still have a plan. There's still a goal. You're still in a situation in your life where you're continuing to win and continuing to be a better version of yourself. You cannot lose because you are not a quitter. You are not a quitter. You're not a loser. One of my favorite quotes is that losers focus on winners, but winners focus on winning. And all you've been doing is focusing on winning. And I know it gets hard. Situations in your life that cause grief and stress. I know it gets hard, but tell me I'm wrong when I say that you're a winner. There is nothing about you that's even giving loser vibes and loser energy. And sometimes we are in this funk, in this cloud of stress and unhappiness. Family, it is just a season you're going to come up out of it. But you have to make a decision that you want to change. And true change comes when you wake up and you decide that you want to do something different than you did the day before. True change comes when you wake up and decide that when all those negative thoughts start to download in your head about the things that happened to you the day before, you immediately take those thoughts captive, make those thoughts your own, and create and write a new story in your mind so that you can have a great day moving forward. Because if you can control your day, if you can control your morning, you can certainly control the rest of your day. So it's about thinking about what you're thinking about, family, being very self-aware and understand and know that when the adversities come, because they will, when the things come that take you down through there, because they will, when the people come to stress you out, I guarantee you they will. That's when you have to make a choice. And are you going to decide to move forward to something better and greater, even though it's scary and in the unknown? Or are you going to quit and acquiesce back into mediocrity and stay there? Why would you want to stay there? You don't even want to stay there. There doesn't feel good. There feels familiar. But what feels good is when you get to that place where you're outside of your comfort zone. And that's why you can't lose, because you have the option and the choice to get on and move forward with your life. You cannot lose. And you're not quitting, because you only get one life, and you understand that. We all know people that have passed on. We all know people that didn't make it. We all know people that maybe they failed or maybe they lost because they stayed there, because they quit. And we get it. It's easy to do so, right? It's so much easier to say, you know what? I've been through so much hurt and pain in my life. I'm going to just chill right here, right now. I get that. We've all been there. But at the end of the day, when you make a decision that you can't lose, and when you make a decision that you're going to win, there is nothing that's going to stop you, because you're focusing all of your attention and all of your energy and all of your everything into making a decision to move forward. You can't lose. And you can't lose because you're telling yourself that you can't lose. You are mentally making up in your mind that you can't lose. You are rehearsing these comments, and your thoughts are aligning, and everything is coming together into making you great, because you're making the decision that you can't lose, and you won't lose. And when you get to that point where you focus all of your energies, where you have mind and heart coherence, when you get to that point, family, you really can't lose, because there's no quitting. And we've all been to that point in our lives, family. And we are at that point in our lives now where we are at that defining moment in our lives where we have to make a decision. Are we moving forward, or are we staying back? So I'm going to ask you, family, are you moving forward, or are you staying back? Think about all of the things that you're going through. This is an exercise that I do often when I'm going through tough times and periods in my life. I write down all of my fears. I get a pen and a piece of paper, and I write down all my fears. You're too afraid. You don't have the resources. You don't have the tools. Your husband won't agree. Your kids won't do this. This is not good timing. You're not physically. I write down every single fear that I have, and I look at that piece of paper, and I write until I can't write anymore. And I look at that paper, right? And I pray over that paper, and I ball it up, and I throw it away. And I do what I have to do afraid. Because there's no sense in quitting when your life is so great. There is no sense in quitting when, honestly, family, someone would trade places with you in an instant. Some of us think our lives are so bad and that things are so challenging, but we fail to realize that someone will trade places with you in a minute, just that fast. So, family, when you make a decision to quit, nothing happens. And like I said before, nothing changes if nothing changes. That's what happens when you quit. What's going to change? How can your life be better? How can things be better? How can you have favorable outcomes? How can you have a happy dynamic when you're deciding to quit? And I do understand quitting while you're ahead is not the same as quitting. There are some things in your life that you need to let go of. Those things are not healthy for you, not good for your environment. But the things I'm talking about quitting are the things that are moving you, your family, and all your things forward into a healthier and better version of self. Those are the things that I'm talking about quitting. And you're not going to quit because you don't lose. How could you lose? Tell me how. Even the things that you don't have in your life right now, you're doing the things to build the foundation to work towards obtaining those things. You cannot lose. And when you walk the way is made, truly, you may not know how to go about a thing. You may not know how to do something. You may not know how to obtain something. You may not know how to leave something. But when you make a decision in your mind that you're not going to quit, that you're going to keep moving forward, when you walk the way is made, and every single thing that you want in your life is coming to you. Every single thing that you want is coming your way. It's all favorable, and it's all good, and it's all working for your good, and it's all coming together. You can't lose. And I literally had to make this video because I'm doing one of my Nicole rants where I just talk unscripted. But sometimes it's needed when we have to motivate ourselves, when I have to motivate myself to remind myself that I'm not a quitter and I'm not a loser, because losers focus on winners and winners focus on winning, and I'm not focusing on losers. I got the squares about my circle. I'm continuing to move forward and do the things that I need to do. And I'm focused on winning. And you can't quit if you're focused on winning. Yes, you'll have setbacks. Yes, you will lose battles. Yes, there will be casualties of war. Yes, I understand that there will be losses. But if you keep moving, if you keep moving forward, if you take that chance on yourself, if you bet on you, I promise you, you're going to win. You're going to win because you are outpacing everyone. You are being consistent. You are outpacing the competition. How can you lose? because you've mentally made up in your mind that you can't lose. And so here we are. I'm winding down from my Nicole rant because I want to remind you that you're a winner and you're not a loser. And you definitely can't lose because you're not a quitter. And all the things that you had to stop in this season, that doesn't mean you quit them. It just means that you laid them down right now for the moment and you're going to pick those things back up. So family, I'm challenging you. Pick those dreams back up. That's cool. You laid them down. Situations happen in life all the time. Situations happen in life all the time that cause us to have to take a pause, that cause us to have to take a break, right? But guess what, family? How long are you going to break? How long are you going to break? This is your time. This is your time to move forward in uncharted territory, to trailblaze and build a future that you cannot even see. And you have what it takes to do that. These people that we see on TV, these celebrities, these business people, listen, they are no different than us. And the only difference is they believe in themselves. They don't stop. They don't quit. They keep moving forward. They are thinkers and visionaries, and they spend time analyzing their problems so that they can find solutions. They spend time praying and manifesting and focusing, and all of their losses and their casualties of war and the battles that they don't win, all of it adds up to making them great because they can hold up their shield, right? And they can move forward in their life and create a future that they cannot even see, but that they've thought about over and over in their mind. And you can do the same thing. If you feel like you're in a bad place in your life, then the reality is it doesn't get any lower now, does it? So where are you going to go? There's literally no place to go but up. If you're in such a low place after a breakup, after a divorce, after a loss, after starting over maybe 2 or 3 or 4 or more times, after being on drugs, after whatever it is in your life that you failed at, made bad decisions, that you wish you could redo, but you can't, right? If there's anything in your life that you've been through that's hurtful, I want you to know that you have the right to create and write a new story for yourself. That you can rewrite that narrative and that you can do something different and become someone different at any given time. And that no one has to hold you to your past and no one has to hold you to who you used to be. You're not a failure. You're a winner. And I'm not just talking it. I'm living it. I'm not just talking it. I mean it. These are all facts. This is no cap. Like the young kids say, this is no cap. Like this is all facts, family. We're living it right now. This is the youngest you'll ever be and the oldest you've ever been in this moment right now. So now you have to make a choice. I'll wait. Now you have to make a choice. What are you going to do? Are you going to quit? Right? Are you going to quit? Are you going to consider yourself a loser? Are you going to count yourself out? No, you're not. Because you're going to think about all the things that you've been through in your past and how you've overcame that and how you've made it through. You're going to think about how much of a better individual that you are based on the things that you've been through. And you're going to know that you are focused on winning. You're not focused on anyone else. You're not spinning a block on anyone. You're not doing any foolishness in this season because in this season, you're moving forward to go farther and faster and better in your life. In this season, you're running hard. And in this season, you're being in peace and you're trusting God, the universe, whatever your belief is, you are trusting and knowing that you're doing all that you can. And whatever it is that you can't control, you're leaving it up for God to do. Because this is your season and this is your time. You can't ever lose. And you can't lose because you're not a quitter. And you're not concerning yourself with what people are saying about you. One of my favorite quotes is, care about what people think, and you'll always be their prisoner. And family, you're a prisoner to no one. You're a prisoner to no, you're not concerned. Listen, it doesn't matter what they think. It literally doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter. This is your life. And you are the final decision maker on all the affairs in your life as you co-create with your belief, your God, this is your life. None of these external factors are going to stop what God has for you. None of these external factors are going to throw you off the road to success to get into where you need to get. None of it. I don't care what they say when they throw the kitchen sink at you. You're not this. You're not that. You're not a good man. You could be better. You're not. It doesn't matter. Let them say what they want. Because at the end of the day, you're moving forward. They're focused on you and you're focused on winning, right? So I want you to understand that and know that and trust that every single thing in your life is coming together. That everything and everyone that you want wants you. And when you come out of your comfort zone, you become the best version of self every single time. So now I think I'm done with my Nicole rant, but on some real, I really hope that this inspires you and motivates you to just think about what you're thinking about. And think about the things that you need to do, some things you need to put on paper to get to where you need to be, because you're no longer quitting, not in this season. In this season, you win. Just something to think about. Stay inspired. Hey, family. There are very few times in my life where I crossed the finish line and it felt like a win, right? Because for me, it was out of sheer exhaustion that I crossed that finish line and won. And how many things in your life, family, can you think about where winning didn't feel like winning, where winning felt like work, where it felt like you were doing more than you thought you could ever possibly do, and it didn't feel good and it didn't feel celebratory? Because sometimes, family, I learned that winning doesn't always feel like winning. And I want to talk to you and give you some reasons on why that feels that way. One of the reasons why winning doesn't always feel like winning is because you experience a lot of physical, a lot of mental discomfort. You know what I mean? Like, you experience so much pain internally, sometimes externally, when you're doing the best thing that you can for yourself. So many of us have left relationships that we were in for many, many years, and it took strength and courage, effort and energy to leave that thing. So many of us have left jobs that we were at for years because we never thought that we could do any better, or we were afraid to leave, or we thought because we were at the top of our game at that job, right? At the top of our game at that job, that was the end all be all for us, and that we could never have more than where we were. And we realized, family, at the end of the day, having the ability to leave the things that we never thought we could leave takes strength. That's winning. But it doesn't feel like it's winning because it feels like pain. It feels like work. It feels like, if you're speaking in terms of a relationship, it feels like you're a loss. Like you're losing a part of you, like you're losing a person that you love, like you're losing a relationship that you've identified with. It doesn't feel good. And so many of us, family, when we're walking away from something, it doesn't feel like a win. It just feels like we're walking away. And we question ourselves. Did we make the right decision? Are we going the right path? Did we do the right thing? Is this for us? So winning doesn't always feel like winning when you're in the process of doing the things that you believe is best for you to do, but may not impact everyone else in a positive way. That may not feel good to everybody else, where your decision may not be the decision that's shared amongst all. But it's still winning because you're physically exerting yourself. You're mentally exerting yourself because you pushed yourself to the limit, where you're feeling mental exhaustion, mental fatigue, physical fatigue, stress. You're feeling all the things. So how is that winning, you ask? How is that winning when it feels like I'm losing? And family, I'm here to let you know it's winning because you're moving to that next level of your life. It's winning because you're getting out of a thing that you no longer want to be in, that doesn't serve you, that doesn't serve the greater good of your family, that is not taking you to a better future, that doesn't feel good because it is not good. And sometimes when we're not strong enough, we make the decision, and when we get to where we need to get, we can't stay there, and we go back to past patterns, back to old ways, back to old people, back to old environments, back to old situations, because we thought that our winning wasn't winning. We thought it was work. We thought that our winning wasn't winning. We thought it was a bad decision. And I commit to you, family, that a lot of things that you do, only in hindsight is when it's 2020, only when you can look back and see that the decision that you made was the best decision for you, is the only time that sometimes you can know that you're winning. Because winning doesn't always feel good when you're doing it. It doesn't always feel good when you're doing it. And like I said, sometimes it's through sheer exhaustion that you cross any finish line of yours where you actually won. And sometimes winning doesn't feel like winning because you want to quit. You're looking at your situation like, yo, I'm doing all the things. I'm doing every single thing that I need to do, and it still doesn't feel like winning. It feels like I'm losing. It feels like no matter what I do, I can't please this person. No matter what I do, I can't get a good accolade on the job. No matter what I do, I can't get to where I need to be. How is that winning? It doesn't feel like winning when you want to quit, when everything in your external environment is telling you no. When everything in your external environment is giving you confirmation that you can't change or that you can't grow or that the situation will always stay the same, it doesn't feel like winning. But family, you are winning. You are winning by the sheer decision that you're making to do better, by the sheer decision that you're making to say, I don't want to stay here. I don't want to be in this situation. I don't want to live in lack. You're winning because you're telling yourself that you are. Because at the end of the day, circumstances don't matter. And circumstances don't matter, family, because they can't matter. Not when you're moving forward. Circumstances can't matter when you're moving forward because you can't allow the noise happening on the outside to block or cause interference or create even more distractions than you need when you're making a decision to move forward in your life. Winning doesn't feel like winning when you feel like quitting. Winning doesn't feel like winning when you've done all the things that you need to do. You took that chance, you set those goals, you accomplished them, and still you feel like nothing has changed. But family, when it feels like nothing has changed, that's when every single thing in your life is changing. That's when every single thing is lining up. That's when things are not falling apart, but they're truly falling together. That is when you're becoming the highest and best version of yourself. When you're making a decision to move forward in your life and you feel like quitting and you don't, that's when you're winning. When you feel like you want to stop, but you won't, that's when you're winning, family. And it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good when you get the thing that you thought you wanted and maybe you felt like it's different. When you get that blessing, that new job, and it's a little harder, that doesn't mean that you're losing, family. It means that you're willing, but you have to become a better version of self to obtain and maintain the thing that you received. Because there's always going to be that small voice in our heads telling us not to move forward. There's always going to be that small voice in our head telling us that we can't do it alone, that we need this relationship to feel good, that even though things are not good, it's better than being single. It's better than being alone. When we hear these voices in our heads telling us to settle in a place that we know we're better than, and not to say that we're better than people, but knowing that we deserve more because we are more. And we can have more and be more, all by making decisions that we want to win and that we don't want to quit. How many times have you gave up on yourself? How many times? I'm going to pause because I really want you to think about that. How many times have you gave up on yourself? Where you know you deserve more, but you settle back into mediocrity because it was comfortable. And I learned, family, that we have to get to that point where we quiet the noise and we silence the voices in our head and we tell ourselves and speak to ourselves and speak life over ourselves to know that we're not going to quit. And while this may not feel good, it is good because I learned that sometimes good doesn't feel good when you've been through so much pain. Good doesn't feel good when you've been living in lack. No, good may not be good for you. It may be familiar. And we're attached to the familiar things. We're attached and married to the pain of the things that we've dealt with. So when you keep moving forward and when you don't quit, it's you winning, even though it doesn't feel like it. And winning, family, doesn't feel like winning when it's uncomfortable. When something's uncomfortable, it's almost like if you think of levels, level 1 through 10, right? You're at 10. So you're at the top of your level. But when you go to that next level, number 11, you're now in level 11 to 20. So you're at the bottom of a new level. And sometimes it's so comfortable staying at the 10, staying at that top level that we are because we're used to it. It feels good. And when we move to the next level, it doesn't feel as good, even though we're winning. Even though we're growing, it doesn't feel good because family, sometimes growth doesn't always feel good. Again, growth doesn't always feel good. It feels like work. And I learned, family, that it's always uncomfortable when you're getting to that next level. Things will always feel uncomfortable when you're growing because you're outgrowing environments that you're in. You're outgrowing the way that you think, your thought processes. Sometimes some of us are outgrowing people. Some of us are outgrowing relationships, outgrowing our old self, outgrowing what we thought we knew and who we thought we were. But when you're winning, family, it doesn't ever really feel comfortable because it feels like uncomfortable growth. And I want you to know that when you feel uncomfortable, sometimes that's often an indicator that you're going in the right direction. When things feel like they're falling apart, sometimes you're going in the right direction. When things feel like they're just off course, sometimes they very much can be on course. And you have to course correct, meaning you have to speak over yourself and tell yourself, I don't want to break any more promises to myself. That I never want to break any promises to myself. That I'm worthy of a good thing. I'm worthy of a new thing. I'm worthy of going a step further. And I'm worthy of becoming the person that I always knew that I could be. And I'm winning right where I stand. Winning right where I stand, right here, right now, winning, even though it doesn't feel good. Because little by little, little becomes a lot. And when you walk the way is made. And baby steps are still confirmation and signs that you're moving forward. You're still winning. And it's very uncomfortable, but it's designed to be uncomfortable. It's designed to force you and move you and guide you into a new direction so that you can be where you need to be and become who you need to become and win your race. You know that you're winning when you're starting to speak life over yourself. And lastly, family, you know that you're winning when you come to a place of acceptance and surrender, right? You're accepting that things may be uncomfortable in this season, but you're still moving forward. You're accepting that things may not be working out in this current relationships, but you're still moving forward. You're accepting the fact that you're surrendering to God, to Allah, to the universe, to whatever your belief is. You're surrendering because you're trusting yourself enough to know that you're making the decision that you're not going back there, that you're no longer dealing with that. You're not dealing with her. You're done with that. You're moved on from that. You're not dealing with him. It's over, bro. Like at the end of the day, you're not dealing with any of the things that's keeping you in bondage and keeping you in lack and keeping you down because you're winning. And even when your outer environment tells you that you're a loser or that you're losing, even when people tell you that you're not good and you'll never change and you'll never, ever, ever change because you'll always remain the same and keep you and hold you to who you used to be. When people remind you of all of the things that you've done wrong, you know you're doing right because you're speaking over yourself and you're telling yourself, self, this is going to change right now. Self, it's going to be one day or day one. One day I'll change. One day I'll get better. One day or day one, I'm going to make a decision that I want to change my life. Day one, this is the defining moment in my life where I'm deciding that I'm moving forward, irregardless of my external circumstances, irregardless of what this person wants to do, irregardless of what they say about me. I'm winning because I'm making a decision to. And you get to that point in your life where you're speaking life over yourself, where you're moving forward, where you're accepting the things that you cannot change. You're changing the things that you can change. You have the wisdom to know the difference between what you can change and what you cannot change. And for the things that you cannot change, you're surrendering. You're winning, family. And you're in your winning season, even though it doesn't feel like it. And every little thing that you're doing, I want you to know it's adding up. Every little thing that you're doing is coming together and it's all working together and it's all conspiring to make you great. Every single thing that you're doing is working out for your good. But you have to believe that. Winning doesn't always feel like winning. And that's okay. Because family, we know it's all a part of the process to get us to where we need to go, to make us stronger, to allow us to have improvements, to be better, to do more, to have more, because we are more. And when we cross that finish line, whether you cross it celebrating, you're happy, flowers, awards, all the things, or even if you cross that finish line out of sheer exhaustion that you made it, you still cross that line because you'll always be a winner. Stay inspired.